Good morning, traders. This is Shane Scott, the moderator of Newsware's Trade Talk. At Trade Talk, we're providing you with the up-to-the-minute news on the market, along with the facts, themes, and short-term trading ideas for the day ahead. Joining me today, as always, is Bill Olson, our trading anchor, who brings over 30 years of institutional trading knowledge to our program. We're going to get things started with our markets update. The U.S. futures are mixed this morning, with S&P futures down 0.03%, Dow futures up 0.02%, and Nasdaq futures down 0.2%. U.S. futures have gone from mixed to ticking downward to mixed again, as underperformance in Nasdaq signals the rotation away from pandemic-favored stocks is building momentum. A poster child in this changeup within the market would be Netflix, which reported its worst quarter in 8 years and is now down 8% in pre-market. Investors face mixed messages in markets today, with corporate results reflecting optimism that growth is set to come charging back from pandemic-induced recessions, even as the virus tears through the developing world. Many stocks near record highs are now under pressure from the threat of new lockdowns that could delay global economic rebounds. Elsewhere in markets, Treasury yields have halted a slide that has taken them to a 5-week low, and the dollar has risen for a second day. Over in Europe, the Stock 600 index saw gains fueled by tech firms. Bill, what are you seeing as far as market updates?
I've been watching the S&Ps all morning, Shane, and they were flat to lower all morning long. And then at that 7 o'clock hour, they just turned. They turned positive off of these earnings reports that started to come in. So, I was cautiously optimistic, and you look at them now, and they're lower again. So I'm back to where I was earlier this morning. I can tell you that the market is highly cautious about these rising levels of COVID-19 in Asia, and also, specifically India. I mean, they reported another record day of cases on Wednesday. We're counting more than 200,000 for the 7th day in a row. You also got to look at Japan, which is, considering reimposing another round of state emergencies where they're going to close down various populated cities around the country. That's not good. I will say that earnings really remain the catalyst today, and yesterday's earnings report from Netflix, where they missed earnings expectations for its subscriber growth, that was not good. That's why you're seeing the stock down, 8.5% this morning.
Moving into our earnings to watch today, Netflix came out. Bill, tell us how they did.
Well, Netflix, listen, their earnings were solid, but really what it comes down to with Netflix is their subscriber growth. Their subscriber growth is the key to moving the stock price at Netflix, and their subscriber growth did not meet Wall Street's expectations. It was a little light. They're saying that their biggest main competitors is still the standard TV, television watchers. So you know what? They just hammered the stock. You see it down 8.5% this morning. It was actually down lower last night. I mean, I saw it trading at the 488 range there for a while. So Netflix, that earnings report yesterday was not positive. You also look at the other companies that have come out. Halliburton, they delivered a 2-cent beat on higher revenue. Nasdaq, they delivered a 23-cent beat on higher revenue. Verizon, they came in with a 2-cent beat on higher revenue as well. So there was some, positive earnings, not groundbreaking big beats, but some positive earnings that did come out this morning.
How about insights as far as upcoming earning announcements?
Let's take a look at Las Vegas Sands. It's ticker LVS, Larry Victor Sam. They're priced for a 6% move when they release earnings this afternoon. Got a call put ratio of 1.93. That's positive. That's good. Here's one, SLG. They're priced for a 13% move. Sleep Number Beds, SNBR. They're also releasing this afternoon. They're priced for an 8.9% move when they release, showing a positive call put ratio of 1.49. A quick note on SLG, Sam, Larry, Grace. This is a real estate company. Now you got to think mall rents, and when you see this elevated put activity ahead of earnings, it's never a good sign. And the puts outplacing the calls. I see a call put ratio of 0.14, so I'm not positive on SLG this morning. I would not expect them to be able to deliver a solid beat when they report this afternoon.
Moving into our economic reports, Bill, what are we seeing as far as reports today?
One of the prospects of the market moving higher is you got to have some good economic reports. And as of the recent economic reports have all been positive, but they've dried up this week. And, that's why you're seeing the market kind of pull back a little bit, because there's no additional activity to move these reports higher, to move the markets higher. And again, today we're seeing a light day for economic reports. There's one that is I like to follow, which is comes out at 8:55 a.m. Eastern time this morning, which is the Red Book on retail sales. But other than that, we're quiet because of the Fed meeting next week. So tomorrow we start pushing out some economic reports tomorrow and Friday. So I would expect those to be positive. Then you're going to see the market react in a positive fashion when you start having earnings reports and positive economic news come out on the same day.
Well, let's take a look at our morning's critical insights. Starting things off with one on Manchester United, ticker MANU. The company closed 6% lower yesterday after the English soccer powerhouse faced a huge backlash from its fans as well as UK and European authorities on plans to join a breakaway European Super League. Tesla, ticker TSLA, has faced 6 negative headlines overnight from China, the first calling for an independent investigation of Tesla's credibly alleged brake issues. And the second article was one on one of China's largest insurers temporarily suspending services to Tesla vehicles. Another article reported a fiery crash in China with a Tesla vehicle colliding with a concrete barrier on the right side of the road and another small car. And another article about Tesla talked about how a Tesla vehicle accelerated automatically and had a brake failure leading to some sort of collision as well. Tesla share price is down 0.37% in pre-market. In other news, Maximus, ticker MMS, is set to acquire the parent company of Veterans Evaluation Services for $1.4 billion. Another acquisition story, the Middleby Corporation, ticker MDD, will acquire Wellbuilt, ticker WBT, in an all-stock deal for $4.3 billion. In other news, the parent company of William Morris Agency, Endeavor Group Holdings, has set terms for its second attempt to go public, giving it a valuation of $10 billion. The company will be adding Tesla CEO Elon Musk to its board. In other news, Amazon, ticker AMZN, will be expanding its contactless payment system, Amazon One, to 7 Whole Food Market stores in Seattle. Amazon share price is down 0.38% in pre-market. In other news, U.S. Concrete, ticker USCR, has acquired an operational cementitious terminal, bulk storage facility, and approximately 8.5 acres of land with access to the port of Stockton, California. Lastly, for me, one on Tyson Foods, ticker TSN. It is the first beef processor to invest in membership in a new cattle disease traceability program called U.S. Cattle Trace. The program is expected to assist animal health officials with an effective and quick disease response within the U.S. cattle herd in the event of a foreign animal disease occurring in the U.S. Bill, what are you seeing as far as this morning's news?
Shane, I break my news alerts down into specific sector alerts and to specific event alerts. That way I can capture these moves before they are really priced in. It's highly beneficial. And my FANG alert, it's going off this morning. You see Apple and Alpha and Google. They're going to be facing a Senate Judiciary Committee today. It's the antitrust subcommittee meeting today. And lawmakers are concerned about the way both companies run their app stores. And then you see Amazon, it's becoming a headache because in its efforts to reach a, global tax accord with countries because, their margins are too small. And also Netflix, the shares are dropping because the company reported its worst quarter in 8 years. I see Microsoft, their talks to buy Discord apparently have failed. You see Microsoft was actually offering up to $12 billion for this deal. Apple added a paid subscription model to its podcast, along with other new products, including a high-end iPad, which, streets kind of thinking they might be a little too late with their high-end iPad offering. Facebook, they came out and they stated that, broad scale scraping of user data from social networks is a common occurrence. What? Why are they saying this? Well, they're saying this because they're trying to limit the damage that's going to be done to them on fines because of the inquiries related to their leak of 500 million users' phone numbers. So that's what I'm seeing really in the FANG alert this morning. My Dow Jones 30 alert went off. Intel option implied volatility is elevated going into tomorrow's earnings results. Johnson & Johnson, I see that Goldman raised their price target on the stock to 204. In Microsoft, Citi just placed Microsoft on their 90-day positive catalyst watch. I find those very interesting. One note on Travelers Group, their disaster losses more than doubled due to those winter storms that occurred in February. In terms of my option headlines, Micron 30-day option implied volatility is at 38 compared to the 52-week range of 35 to 67. Qualcomm, on the other hand, their 30-day option implied volatility is at 36. You're looking at their 52-week range. It goes from 30 to 63. So both those are low vol right now. My FDA alert, I'm going to go back to the Citi Catalyst Watch. I mean, they put Abiva, ticker ABBV, Apple Boy Victor, and Bristol Myers, ticker BMY, Boy Mary Yellow. They put both of them on their 90-day positive catalyst watch this morning. In terms of guidance, Verizon, they're seeing their 2021 EPS be coming out to be between $5 and $5.15. This is right within the consensus estimates of $5.08. So the guidance is fine there. A couple of events to talk about. Levi Strauss is having a shareholder meeting today that starts at 1:30 p.m. Ticker DAN, Dan. David, Apple, Nancy. This is Dana Corp. They're having a shareholders meeting that starts at 8:30 this morning. And Sherwin-Williams, that's ticker SHW, Sam, Harry, William. They're having a shareholders meeting today that starts at 9 a.m.
Moving into our trade talk picks for today, I'm picking Las Vegas Sands, ticker LVS, one that Bill spoke a little bit about. JP Morgan said that this is one to buy ahead of sentiment turn, and they've got good put volume. The state of New York has legalized online sports gambling. And, on March 13th, LVS opened to 50% capacity. So we're looking at them going in to be delivering some strong guidance. This is going to see some momentum today, or highly likely. So this is my pick. What's yours looking like, Bill?
I'm going with Spirit Airlines. This is ticker SAV, SAVE. Now, earnings report is coming out this afternoon. The option volume was positive yesterday. Call put ratio was 1.96. The brokers are expecting this thing to turn around, and they're all positive on the stock. The straddle is telling me it's priced for a 16% move when the earnings are released. I noticed that the stock has sold off hard the last few days, so I'm thinking it could run into earnings, and that you're going to see this. You're going to see Spirit Airlines actually trade a little higher. Might open up a little weaker, but I think that this stock's going to start to run as it gets closer to earnings. So I'm going with SAVE, ticker SAVE, Spirit Airlines today.
Well, moving into what's hot off the press, this is the news that's hitting the tape as we speak that's going to be moving the stocks today. Let's go ahead and get into it. So, Bill, seeing our newswire alerts streaming in, which are the ones we should be letting traders know about?
Amazon, ticker AMZN. Researchers have just uncovered that an advertising scam targeting streaming TV apps. They have one, Roku has one. There's a number of them out there, but they just found these advertising scams. So that's pretty interesting to note.
Tesla has responded to a lot of these headlines against them. Tesla, ticker TSLA. The company said that it will arrange self-inspection over customer grievances in China.
Here's another one on Tesla. I mean, their first quarter vehicle registrations in California have dropped. So you got to think that there's a lot of negativity in the stock happening these days.
Mm-hmm.
Nasdaq, they raised their quarterly dividend 10% to 54 cents this morning.
One on Chevron, ticker CVX, and Toyota, ticker TM. They've announced an MOU to explore strategic alliance on hydrogen.
Here's one on Pfizer and ticker PFE. Pfizer identifies fake COVID-19 shots abroad as criminals are trying to exploit the vaccine demand.
I know we talked about Wellbuilt and the potential takeover by Middleby, but they jumped over 12% in pre-market off of the news.
Advanced Auto Parts, AAP, they just got a price target increase to 235 at a major broker.
Alaska Air, ticker ALK, has pledged to reduce the company's carbon emissions to net zero by 2040. Anything else interesting for you, Bill?
No, that's all I'm seeing.
Same here. So that'll do it for what's hot off the press. But traders, keep in mind you can receive the same breaking stories we do simply by subscribing at newsware.com. Check us out for a free trial today. Moving into our scoreboard, talking about how our picks did from Tuesday, I had Whirlpool, ticker WHR, which opened at $239.34 and dropped as low as $232.97 before rising back up to $236.45 at the end of the day for a loss from open to close of 1.2%, but a much bigger gain, actually, if you had caught that dip and rode it to the end. So there was some room to make some gains on this pick, but it was a bit tricky. You had to watch it. So how'd yours end up doing, Bill?
I did good. I did I did Stride, which is ticker LRN, Larry, Richard, Nancy. Stride reported, this was an earnings play, obviously. Stock opened up at 31.02, a little high. I wanted to get a little cheaper. Sure enough, it pulled back down. It actually sold off to 29.50. But when their earnings came out, they reported a 13-cent beat, and it was a 13-cent beat on higher revenue. They also, increased their guidance, which was really exciting to see. And, the stock responded and it shot up to 32.50. I was seeing, offers, up there above 33. So that was kind of nice to see. So that was a nice gain. It beat both the $1 move expectation as well as the 1% move on LRN. So it was a good call yesterday.
Nice. Well, that's going to do it for us here at Trade Talk. But traders, you know what to do. Let's get out there. Let's make some green.